People are so entitled that when it comes to this hustle, when it comes to like, am I willing to really take risk and be vulnerable? Am I willing to put in work not knowing what the outcome might be? Am I willing to do that to reach this other level of success in my life? And a lot of people don't want to give up that comfort they have. They don't want to sacrifice.
Jerry, part of what we like to discuss and kind of part of what you're about is this amazing part of real estate. Can you just give everyone, the viewers, the listeners, a little bit about your background?
Sure.
How'd you get started? We're talking Michigan, we're talking flipping houses, we're talking burnt out houses, we're flipping contracts on for $1,500. Give me the elevator pitch. I just want to hear, where'd you get started from?
Yeah, so like a lot of people, I was going nowhere in life. Dead-end job, was working construction, minimum wage, had a small family, just wasn't really stepping up to the plate. I felt like as a provider, wanted more for my family, had a couple small kids, 27 years old, and discovered this idea around wholesaling, had no idea what that was, and said, you know what, I think I'm gonna try to make this happen. So it was a before work, on my lunch break, after work, weekends type thing, and it took me about a year. My goal was, if I can find a couple deals and wholesale a couple houses and save up equal to my income of my job for a year, then I'll quit, because now I've got some comfort, right? I'll quit. And
I got my financial freedom coming towards me.
It was only like $25,000 at the time. It was hardly any money, but it freaked me out. So I was kind of like doing these little deals a little bit here and there, and did that for about a year. And then I said, okay, I'm ready. And then I jump in, and in my first month, full-time, did 5 wholesale deals, made $52,000, which was like,
wow,
yeah, all the money I'd seen in the world,
That
and so
25,000 looked a little smaller than the 52.
So it took me a year to get like 25 part-time in it, and then month 1, 52.
And what market were you doing that in? Was that
Metro Detroit?
So Detroit metro market. You would flip. You wholesaled the first month 5 houses. So what do you remember that feeling after that first month?
Yeah, the interesting thing is, I never really had a plan B. So I said, I'm going to do this. And it was more like, how long is it going to take me? How quickly can I do it? Not, can I do it? Or if I don't make it work, I'll go do something else. And
so
I'm sorry that's important.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that to me is I would like to talk about that for just 2 minutes, because we engage with a lot of real estate investors who have plan B, plan C, plan D, plan everything. Yeah. And Jerry said, I don't have a plan B. I'm going to be successful. Mm-hmm. That's a mindset.
Yeah, I deal with a lot of people. I work with a lot of people in the education space. And the biggest thing that they lack is not information or funding or deals or partners. It's usually commitment is what they're lacking. They just haven't really said, I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I'm going to just make this work.
How do you teach that to somebody, right? Is it that moment where you say to a real estate investor, because I was that guy. In 2003, I was at an endless job, which was with my parents. I woke up miserable every day. I hated going to dinner with my mom and dad every night, because that's all we discussed was my miserable job that they were working in. And I said to myself, I'm leaving on August of 2020 of 2003, and I will be successful. See you later.
Yeah,
I knew that was in my body.
You didn't know yet how, but you knew that was going to happen. I knew
it was going to be in real estate, and I didn't know how.
Your big why has a big part to do with it, but I honestly feel like drive is not something you can teach somebody. You can't teach drive. I can teach you how to wholesale or flip. I can teach you things, but if you can't bring the drive to the table, then it's going to be very limiting what you end up doing.
Yeah, and we said that a lot yesterday. A lot of the speakers were discussing basically, I can teach you all the real estate. I can't teach you how to hustle, And,
that's right.
If you don't know how to hustle, I can't help you.
And I know everybody's on a different path. Everybody kind of has a different journey. But I think you've got to be able to dig down really deep, and you've got to have a super compelling reason why you want this. And when that surfaces and you can identify that and bring it to the front, then you're willing to plow through obstacles, climb over walls. You don't let the setbacks stop you. You just, because now that big why you have is so compelling that it gets you up in the morning. Nothing, I don't ever need motivated. I'm never like lacking motivation.
No, you're never like, hey, I don't feel like doing a deal today, or I don't feel like finding an opportunity.
No one says, Jerry, get out of bed and go work. Like no one does that, and I don't ever need that because the drive is just there. And it's compelling.
That fire is lit every day, all day.
I was thinking about this last night because I just meet Tony, and he's 22 years old and $500,000 in assignment fees his first year. And what makes that? I didn't have my head on like that at 22. Right. And where does that come from? And I think it's a special rare thing to see someone that really just comes out of the gate with this drive and this fire. It's a rare thing. I had someone ask me one time if I thought there was an entrepreneur gene. And I wonder if that's a thing. I wonder if there's certain people I meet and I'm like, yeah, you got it.
Right. You can tell from the handshake. You can tell from the pep.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that. The gene. So I'm just going back to last night. Last night's still running through my head pretty vividly.
Yeah.
Because there was moments of like people were changed in a really positive way, not changed in the spiritual fashion, but like people gained a very important piece of confidence last night that they didn't have when they walked in the door.
The problem, I think, Scott, is everybody wants to focus on technique and strategy. And that's maybe like 10% of the equation. You got to have that. You got to have the technique. You got to have the strategy. Got to have the business model. But it's the 90% of success is the real estate between your ears. It's your mindset, your self-limiting beliefs, and that's what holds people back. And unfortunately, everybody wants to focus on that 10%. If only I had the right skill, if only I had the right technique, the right partner, the right funding, the right whatever, the right market, then I'll be successful. When really, it's the part no one wants to really focus on, and that's that 90% mindset.
I think you're 100% right, and I think that's a very intriguing conversation for our listeners to say, where is that 90%, right? Because the technique, it's teachable technique at the end of the
Especially
day.
Wholesaling, like it's a couple of steps. You do it again and again and again.
Right. And you get better, by the way, because you're practicing.
There's nothing complicated here, really.
When you're talking to people, or when you're educating, or when you're finding the right, how are you tweaking the 90% piece that might be off?
The biggest thing I see, especially in the coaching area with people, is they're just not willing to put themselves in a really uncomfortable place. So we're so entitled in America, I think. I think we grow up so comfortable, so entitled. We don't really understand struggle. No one really can relate to Carlos Rey's story.
Right.
Very few people can actually relate to that story, right?
Sure.
Growing up in dirt floors in Mexico.
Right.
Who can relate to that?
Not me, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, right? Me too. So people are so entitled that when it comes to this hustle, when it comes to like, am I willing to really take risk and be vulnerable? Am I willing to put in work not knowing what the outcome might be? Am I willing to do that to reach this other level of success in my life? And a lot of people don't want to give up that comfort they have. They don't want to sacrifice. I'll give you an example. I had a coaching student come and he said, I've got a good 6-figure job, but I don't like it. I don't like my boss. I don't like, they own me. They tell me when and where I got to be every day. I got to go through traffic. I don't like it. So I want to do real estate and I want you to help me get over here. But I just got to tell you, I don't want to cut back on my lifestyle. I have this lifestyle here I've created.
So I want to make no sacrifices to get to where I want to
basically,
go.
I want this, but I don't want to make any sacrifice to get it. And I said, man, I don't know if I'm the one to help you because you're going to have to make some massive sacrifices.
And these
if you want to transition.
But Jerry, let's be clear. These are not 7-year-long sacrifices.
No.
These are 6 months. These are, you're going to have to do X, Y, Z, but you can still be functioning. You just have to make some changes.
Yeah.